Welcome back. Dr. Aaron Chadwick here, part of Your Nutrition Physicians. Do you suffer from chronic achy joint pain, achy knees, achy lower back, achy elbows, achy shoulders? Well, today we're going to be talking about that. It's one of the most common questions that people ask us during our 5-day challenge, our health challenge, chronic achy joints. Before we talk about apple cider vinegar and how it can help you for chronic achy joints, let's talk about what causes chronic achy joints. The biggest factor in chronic achy joint pain is liquid oils, things like vegetable oil, soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil. They sound really healthy, right? Even vegetable oil, it sounds like it comes from vegetables. But believe it or not, most vegetable oils are a mixture of soybeans and corn oil. And these oils are what we call long chain fats. And what happens when you buy them at the grocery store in those clear bottles, the light and air can damage those oils, actually does damage those oils, and they become very toxic to your body. So these oils create inflammation in your body, and inflammation is behind chronic achy joint pain. As a matter of fact, inflammation is behind most chronic achy diseases, things like diabetes, high blood pressure, even things like autoimmune diseases, and even cancers have their starting point with inflammation. Another real big problem, another real big danger, something to avoid is any of those vegan spreads. The vegan spreads like, I can't believe it's not butter, smart balance, even those organic ones and the ones that are like combination of like olive oil and different spreads. They say they're organic or they say they have no trans fats. Those still contain these dangerous liquid oils and they go rancid and they create lots of inflammation. So avoid those. Another big problem when it comes to chronic achy joints is sugar. If you're eating excess sugar, I'm talking about cakes and cookies and ice cream, the sugar in there and even the artificial sweeteners. So both sugar and artificial sweeteners are very acid to the body and they create more acid. And that's another big problem with chronic achy joints. The fact that sugar makes more acid, the acid can build up in your tissues, causing inflammation in your body. Another problem with sugar and acid is that acid will leach out your good minerals like calcium and magnesium and zinc and phosphorus. The body will use the minerals to pull out the extra acid when you eat too much sugar. Now, alcohol, things like beer and wine and hard liquor, they're very hard on the body also. They also lead to more inflammation, which leads more to chronic achy joints. Because alcohol is what we call a solvent. A solvent breaks things down. So one of the problems with chronic achy joints is the breakdown of the cartilage in between your spine and in between your bones. There's a soft tissue there called cartilage that breaks down because of too much sugar and too much alcohol. And also fried foods, again, mainly because fried foods contain all these dangerous oils. They're very, very toxic to your body. And frozen foods, but more specifically, avoiding the frozen dinners because they typically have things like fried chicken in them and other things too. But as a general statement, the frozen dinners have more processing that go into them and they have a lot more chemicals and a lot more salt. So they're not so good for the body and they also lead to more inflammation. So that's a big part of what causes inflammation in the body. And it also boils down to things getting into your blood. On some of my other videos, I talk about having dirty blood. Dirty blood means that there's particles that get into our blood from our digestive system. So if you're not completely digesting your food, what is happening is you're getting more particles of those food in your blood than you're supposed to have because they're supposed to be broken down through your digestive system. But if they're not properly digested, mainly because they're refined or they're processed or overly processed foods, those are the ones that the body has a hard time digesting. And then they get into the bloodstream, they leak into the bloodstream, and then they cause a lot of inflammation. And really what's happening is these food particles, we call them toxins. These toxins from these overly processed foods get into the bloodstream and they have charges. Most of them are positive charges. Some of them are negative, but our bodies are actually like a battery. We are amazingly made. So we have these positive and negative charges in our bloodstream and they float around. When there's too much toxins in your bloodstream, The positive charges are attracted to the negative charges and they stick together. When they stick together, now you have sticky blood. When you have sticky blood, you have more inflammation, you have more chronic pain. So here's how we can help. Apple cider vinegar is a phenomenal liquid that's very good for your body on many levels. One of the most important factors of apple cider vinegar is that it's a very mild acid. It's not a strong acid like you get from sugar, but it's a mild acid that keeps these particles in your blood further apart. If the particles in your blood from those refined foods are further apart, they're not going to stick together as much. You're not going to have as much inflammation. So that's one way that apple cider vinegar is very good for chronic achy joint pain. Another great attribute to apple cider vinegar is that because it's a very mild acid, it helps your body to absorb your minerals, your calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and zinc, and even copper are minerals that the body uses to build up the cartilage between your joints. So if you have the apple cider vinegar, when you take about a tablespoon of that in a glass of water in the morning time, once or twice a day, and that will help to give you a little bit more of the right type of a weak acid to help your body to absorb your minerals much better. Another really a good attribute of apple cider vinegar is the fact it's fermented. You want to get the apple cider vinegar that it's like cloudy and foggy. That cloudy jar with all the little sediment, that's good bacteria. And that good bacteria from the apple cider vinegar, we call it from the mother. That's what they call the cloudy materials inside the apple cider vinegar from the mother. That mother in there is bacteria. And that bacteria is very good for your body. It actually helps to put good bacteria back into your intestines, which again, it will help your digestive system work better, right? Because again, the apple cider vinegar helps you digest and absorb your minerals, but it also helps you to put back good bacteria, and good bacteria helps you digest your food better so you won't get dirty blood. And we know that good bacteria also helps your immune system, which reduces inflammation. So apple cider vinegar has many, many jobs in the body. I remember once a little while ago, I had a patient of mine, and she was actually going to get surgery for a hip replacement. She had severe chronic hip pain. She came to one of our 5-day challenges, and I taught her all about what she was eating that was wrong. We put her on our 15-day detox, and I gave her some apple cider vinegar. Within 6 weeks, she had no more pain. And the funny thing about this patient was she had a twin sister up in Wisconsin, and the twin sister had the same kind of pain. But the twin sister was also should get an operation for it. When my patient told her about how I helped her, she said, nah, I'd rather get the operation. So anyway, this is Dr. Aaron Chadwick, part of Your Nutrition Physicians. Don't let that happen to you. There are answers. Nutrition has answers. We can help you with chronic achy joint pain. If you want to know more about our challenges and about our health workshops, DM me below. Also, look below in the comment box, and you'll see a link there to our challenges and things that we have going on. So again, Dr. Aaron Chadwick, please subscribe to our channel, like this, share it with your friends. Every Monday night, we have a free question and answer period. Answer all your nutrition questions live. We'll put that link below. It's a Facebook, and it's also on Instagram Live. So Facebook Live, Instagram Live. The links will be down below. This is Dr. Aaron Chadwick, part of Your Nutrition Physicians. Stay healthy. We'll see you guys next time.